Hey guys, it's Sundown Rider here, and I'm going to be doing a review to One Punch Man chapter 65.2, at least according to Manga Stream. So it's 65 part 2, and the last chapter ended with Slingshot and Fubuki fighting, and Fubuki was injured, and she states that her sister has sensed her injury and that she might be appearing. So this chapter that does happen. We start with seeing Fubuki and Slingshot S, and the area around them is vibrating fiercely. And Fubuki states that it's Tatsumaki who sensed that she had taken damage. So an explosion goes off in the city, and this whole chapter is kind of like a build-up to Tatsumaki just making her appearance and basically backing up or fighting Slingshot S instead of Fubuki. So an explosion goes off in the city as an unseen Tatsumaki approaches and kind of rampages as she gets nearer and nearer to Fubuki. So we see an awesome kind of panel. It's not very big, I don't think, but there's cars flying, there's trees flying, trees uprooted, and some debris sent flying as Tatsumaki makes her approach. So Slingshot S is sweating. She's terrified. She's terrified that Tatsumaki is going to be amazingly powerful. And we know she is powerful, and she realizes she's in over her head. So she stood there, kind of just watching in horror as Tatsumaki makes her approach. We can't see Tatsumaki yet. She hasn't made her appearance just yet at this point in the chapter. So then the mutilated bits and pieces of a mysterious being kind of fly past, and I thought this was pretty awesome because in that same panel, I mean, when there's bits and pieces flying past Slingshot S, and there's an eyeball that goes flying past her as well. I thought that was pretty funny. But then there's like the mutilated almost carcass, but he's still alive. It's a mysterious being, and he's bleeding everywhere. Awesome drawing, and his dying words to Slingshot S are a comment on how the heroes have a monster as well. So he's saying that the mysterious beings brought out all their monsters to kind of terrorize the humans all on this one day to achieve some sort of goal. But the heroes had a monster as well, referring to Tatsumaki. So then Tatsumaki makes her appearance in all her glory, silhouetted against the sun, and she looks awesome. It's an awesome entrance. So Fubuki still wants to fight. She notices Tatsumaki's there, obviously, and she asks whether she can still carry on her fight. And Tatsumaki kind of harshly dismisses it. Now this for me brought on instantly the question of how good their relationship is, because we know that Tatsumaki's close enough to Fubuki to want to save her whenever she's in danger, as is shown by this chapter and last chapter, where she sensed that Fubuki was in danger, so she immediately dropped everything else she had and made her way to where Fubuki was. But the way she dismisses her is without politeness, without any kind of sisterly love or anything like that. She just completely dismisses her and says, "Go home, be a good little girl and go home. I'll deal with this." And Fubuki kind of looks gobsmacked. She's just like, what am I going to do now? So Slingshot S, as we expected, orders her slaves to attack Tatsumaki. Fubuki pleads for Tatsumaki not to retaliate, as it's her group, it's her comrades who are going to attack Tatsumaki by order of Slingshot S. So Tatsumaki, I thought she was going to do it anyway, because she's kind of a savage. So she just attacks anyway, but she doesn't kill them. She just kind of like comically drives them into a wall, and they're buried into the wall, kind of like this. So Tatsumaki then chastises Fubuki for this whole B rank alliance, and I was never a fan of this whole B rank alliance. I think personally that Fubuki might be a lot more powerful if she just focused on herself, but maybe she wants to kind of raise her whole group alongside her rather than rise by herself. So so while she's chastising Fubuki, and whilst Fubuki is kind of saying, "You didn't really need to throw my mans into the wall," Slingshot S escapes, and Tatsumaki she comments on that. She's just like, "Oh, she's escaped. I'll go do my own thing." So she goes to take on more mysterious beings. So like I said, that was the end of the chapter. It was, as with all One Punch Man chapters, it's very short, very abrupt, and not much actually happened. We just get Tatsumaki appearing, a lot of buildings being blown apart, a mysterious being having been blown apart, and Slingshot S having done one. But this raises a few questions for me. Well, one question mainly. Is the relationship between Tatsumaki and Fubuki any good? Do they like each other, or do they hate each other? It looks to me like there might be a deeper relationship between them, like it might be a love-hate kind of relationships. But I think Tatsumaki overall really cares for her sister, and Fubuki obviously cares for her sister, but she's just kind of harsh with her to try and get her to be better than she is right now. Yeah, so I rate this chapter around a solid 3.5. Not much happened. We didn't get to see Saitama. We haven't seen Saitama in a couple of chapters now, 2-3 chapters I think. So I really wanted to see him, but you know, we get that every now and then. But yeah, solid 3.5 out of 5. But just before I wrap up this video, I wanted to address a question that I've heard, and I haven't really got an answer for it, but I do have an idea. So the question is, where does Saitama get his power from? So why is he so strong? And I read a Reddit post, which I'll actually put in the description, about how Saitama might have got his power, and I think it's pretty plausible. We know the crab monster in the first couple chapters, Crab Lante. He got his powers from excessively eating crab. He loved crab so much he ate it excessively, and he became a crab. So in that same chapter, Saitama says he wishes that he since he was a kid, he wanted to be a hero who could send shameless villains flying with one punch. And then we know for, was it 3 years, that he trained doing his 100 squats, sit-ups, press-ups, and then his 10-kilometer run or something like that. His banana every day, no AC, things like that. I've forgotten what it was, but he did that for 3 years solid, all in the attempt to become a hero who could send shameless villains flying with one punch. So his whole aim was to beat people with one punch. That's what he trained for 3 years, and I think he did it. So, and the post even mentions that. Well, the post states that he did this so excessively, this training to become a hero who could beat people in one punch, that he must have become a person he must have become someone who can beat people in one punch, as we can see. So does this mean that he's a mysterious being? But there are also downsides to that theory as well. I think there's a chapter where he enters a building where mysterious beings can't enter, or something like that, and he's obviously not a mysterious being if he entered, which he did. So I'm not too sure, but that seemed like the most plausible theory to me. He might actually be a mysterious being. He's evolved to the point where he can beat people with one punch because of his excessive, almost obsessive need to become a hero who could beat people in one punch. Yeah, so that's the end of this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next review. See you later.